The reason I gave my status back because I didn't like how it was handled. I felt like that I put enough time in for it to be handled correctly. I felt like that my house and me should have been informed properly that I was going to be deemed a legend so I could properly dress for the category that I'm being deemed for. Like I said, I also didn't like the fact that my plaque was left at home and it was going to be mailed to me. There was just it was just too much. It was just too much bull BS dealing with when it came to my status, and I feel like this is not how I want my status to be represented. And then another thing was that me personally, I also felt like that even though people look at me as a people's legend, I just didn't feel like a legend. And the reason I didn't feel like a legend is because where I'm from is that in order to be a legend, you have to be a legend. And I wasn't consistent in ballroom enough to reach that point where I was sitting legend to I'm like, okay, let me accept my legendary status. I know that I put my time in. You know, I put my time in and I get it, people look at me as a legend, but I personally wanted to build my resume up a little bit more. You know, I want to come out with different looks and, you know, be like how y'all do and everything would look like. I always just want to be like, you know what, suits, V-neck shirt, that's me. But when it comes to legendary, you know, you have to be like, you have to have a reason like why she's legend. Oh, because she said Christian, she said Exotic, she said Emery, she said Jacen. You know, it have to be, I want to have a list of things so nobody can question my legendary status. To be honest, no, because modeling will always be my first love. And I didn't join Ballroom for status. I'm sorry. I don't care about status. I personally never cared about status. I joined Ballroom because it was fun. It was something that was different from what I do at home. You know, and then I feel like if I would have became legendary, I felt like that I would have not wanted to be in Ballroom anymore because when you become a legend or icon, now you have to really pick and choose which bars that you have to walk to. If I would tell my house, like, well, I want to walk this, oh, you can't walk there because you're a legend now. And I'm like, but it's going to take the fun out of it for me. And I didn't want that. And honestly, don't care if I have it or not because I'm going to continue to walk and I'm going to continue to make noise.
Hey, I don't know. It was different at first. Like at first I was like, maybe they gonna be like a little bit like, nah, not yet, not yet. But then when it was like when I thought about it, I was like, in order to be the best, you gotta beat the best. And it's like the people that I've battled is like I feel like if you could get past Emery and Exotic, who else is left? Like and that was like if they was cool with it, I was like, I'm cool with it. So it was kind of simple for me.
Oh, I remember kind of vividly when they told me probably several months in advance that I'm gonna be deemed a legend.
Oh, you was told that you were going to be dean?
I was. Yeah. Mind you, I didn't get told either. I think.
Well, you were still properly dressed for your category.
Well, you know, it's Christian. It was in my name was in conversations prior to the year of even getting it, and I was so glad I didn't get it before that because I was like, I have so much left to do. Please don't deem me yet. Please do not deem me yet, because I wanted my status to feel like it was meant to feel. When I got my status, I felt like it was on time. Even maybe I could have waited another year. But honestly, I think that what happened was with the YouTube era, I didn't realize how many people that were younger than me looked up to me as a face person. I was always kind of one of those names that people was like, Emery, well, along with others, obviously. So by the time I got my status, I was like, this feels right. I am a legend, and I'm gonna own that.
So when I got deemed icon, like I say, I was the first to be deemed in the green era, and I was a little nervous about it. You know, I think the thing is you always want to feel what, not just when you feel, you know, that, you know, you deserve it, but you want others to, you know that you deserve it also. And so, you know, I went back through my entire catalog, everything I had done, and like just to kind of reverse myself on who is Exotic Mugler, what is she done, as he checked off all the boxes. And I had a conversation with David, and David said, the boxes are checked. I don't know what you're questioning yourself for. And I was like, I just don't want it to be one of these situations where someone's saying it's too early or he doesn't deserve it, et cetera. If it does happen, I would like to be right. Just like Emery said, Lord, it just feel like it's right. And I remember even before I was getting ready to crime, before I was getting ready to be deemed legendary, and I was talking to Jack, and Jack was like, we need one more moment, Exotic. Like just one more moment, give one more moment, and then, we'll be ready to deem you. And I was like, oh, what is that one more moment looking like? I'm like, I'm damn, did that we have to come out and like, good. Right. And it's not that I was, I think you heard the conversations about it, but then I kind of wanted to know, like, if it was going to happen, when was that going to be? And so I felt like the perfect person to have that conversation with was Jack. And like, we need something out of him. Pull it, whatever you got, pull it out. And so I did, what was asking me, what needed to be done. And, that happened. I said, hey, make sure all the people that I consulted with during the time of the conversations wanted the same thing I wanted, and that was just for it to be right, and the timing to be right, and all the boxes to be checked out. So when the icon status came, it was rewarding. It felt good. It felt on the inside that I really put in the work and to deserve the status that I got. I feel like I've been at Ballroom 15 years. For a lot of people, it happens around the 18-year, 20-year mark. But I know that I've never dropped the ball in consistency from the day I stepped foot in Ballroom all the way to now. I know it takes a lot of effort. I don't discredit myself in that era or in that area at all. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of patience to grow with Ballroom for 15 years and try to change the game at Bitch Queen Base and try to be an inspiration to others and try to run a house and try to run chapters and try to throw balls. It's a lot. So when I sit back and look at it, I can honestly say that I feel like I worked for it. I think I've done a full body of work in what would take some people 20 years to do. I've done that at 15, and I think I'm okay at self-validating enough to say that I've done that. Do I feel like the $11,000 category went in that? Do I feel like it validated my status? I do. I do feel like it kind of cemented that over for me. I was very nervous going into that category because I didn't plan to walk that category until 2 weeks before the ball. From David coming to me and telling me that, Exotic, we don't have anybody walking, like all the Bitch Queen, they're pulling out. And I'm like, what? Like, I just talked to this person, that person, they're all walking. He's like, no, they're not. And it's like, I need you to do something. And I was just like, okay. I remember talking to one of my prospects. His name is Keem. He was a prospect at the time. His name is Keem Mugler, and he sent me this visual of this lady in a runway. She had big ball gown on, and had all these branches and flowers all over it. And I had just an epiphany. And I was just like, I just saw myself with that and already, and I called Pop. I sent it to him. I was like, this is it. And it's funny because my effects usually come to me in the weirdest ways that have been my biggest moments, and I've always paid attention to them, very like spot on when they happen. And I would go with it, and then it always would just come out on top. And I think I was very nervous at that moment because I was doing something I had never done before, which was kind of the gender bender thing, wearing the dress. And I figured, okay, well, if I have something that Exotic has never done before, that could be it. When I won the 11K and all of my counterparts, like Emery and Christian and Los, came up, and I turned, and I remember like still being in shock, and then turning and seeing them running toward me with open arms. It was like, oh gosh, I did cry. Emery was crying. It was just a whole big, I never felt my heart swell up so much, and it really made me feel like this is what Ballroom is about. Like, this is what I knew Ballroom to be about. I think we've gone so far away where we get so deep in competition and shade and drama, and everyone looks at Ballroom as just that right now. And it, like you said, it takes the fun of it. But to be celebrated and to celebrate, because we all got up there. It took a lot for us to get up there. And they were going through just as much as I was going through in the bathroom trying to get ready. I started like kings, people trying stuff, breaking stuff, popping, you trying to move, people stepping on your clothes, and we fighting just to get to the runway, just to be presentable.
for a category that has everybody has so much pressure on us. And so I felt like it was a win for all of us because we made it through that pressure and put on one of the greatest categories for which Queen fits.
Oh, the thing too. So with the advent of fillers and makeup wearing and all of these things, sometimes there is a bit of pressure to feel like I may have to take the route to do those same things. Just to be clear, I had no problem with enhancements, no problem with makeup. A fun fact about me is that the only reason I really don't wear makeup is not because my skin is nice, but it's more so I hate the way I look with it. I have not mastered the right balance of makeup on my skin. It always highlights areas of my face that I don't blend. So I was still trying to find the balance with that. So, but it's really not about me trying to like, oh yeah, this. So when I see people with nice paint, to me, good is good. If you still look handsome or beautiful with makeup on, that is the point. But when you go in so much that it takes away from you, that to me is the problem. And also I challenge people to look, do what makes you happy with fillers and cosmetics, but I don't want people to do it for the sake of they're trying to get the approval of others, for validation purposes, also develop some type of body dysmorphia. I think that's when you enter a dangerous territory with ballroom that becomes unhealthy. And I think at any time I'm walking the ball, I have to show up knowing that I'm beautiful first before I can present to you all. My cup has to be full before I can pour. So that way, even if I lose or even if I win, I always walk away knowing that Emery is beautiful, Emery is enough, and Emery matters. So
when it comes to the fillers and being natural or wearing makeup, I personally don't have an issue with it. I've been put in positions where, what was this? This had to be in 2015. I was in Escada, and we was on our way to I was there to walk the house of Revlon Ball. And one of the house members was like, no, well, you need to put on makeup. And I'm like, why? I'm known for not wearing makeup. And he was like, yeah, but the girls are not living for wash face anymore. You have to wear makeup. And I went back and forth with them for hours. I was like, you know what? Barlang, it's the gang, whatever. And I ended up with it. So when it comes to that, do you? Like Emery said, you don't do it for other people's validation or, for them to pick you or like you because you don't have this and that. No, do it for you. Want to get your nose done because you feel like you need to get your nose done, get it done. Don't do it because, oh, this girl stabbed me because her nose is smaller. No, just do it for you. Whatever you want to do to yourself is for you. You have to look at that every single day, whatever you do. So I'm all for it. As long as it looks good.
As far as enhancements and being natural with Sensor when it comes to face, and as far as maintaining beauty over time, I think the pressure to stay young and beautiful is amongst all of us. This category where we look at the people that came before us. We have like Whitney and Jacen and Brian Infinity and these people that we still have looked amazingly beautiful for years. And when you look at that, I still see the same person I saw 10 years ago when I first got at the scene. So the pressure is there to keep our looks up and to make sure that, we age not just gracefully, but timely, I think that just comes with the territory. As far as enhancements, et cetera, is concerned, I have no issues with it. Like I said, my fellows are the same as Emery when it taps into that murky water about you're doing it for validation. That if it is when it gets dangerous, and that is when, I think that it may be a time to take a step back and find love within yourself. But for those of us who just want to see ourselves how we want to see ourselves or how we imagine we would want ourselves to be, it's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying?
Being completely authentically myself at all times, I think is an important part of what I present in floor. Whether that I love anime, I love Asian culture, I love gender bending. I just love taking risks of just doing whatever I think works for me. And as someone that identifies as being gender queer, non-binary, it's, whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I just want to do that. Whether I put on a suit and feel masculine today, that's what I'm going to embody. Whether I put on heels, I'm going to be that character. It's all about character interpretation for me. And I think the base of me that's most important every time I walk out there is about confidence. And I just think in my head, like I'm like this supermodel posing. I don't focus too much on hands. Placement is for me about the attitude of the posers and getting into my mode. So yeah, I think that's what kind of sets me apart a little bit. Not so much can mastery, though I love keeping looking at it. It is everything, and it's a art thing. But yeah, that's me.
So, what things I feel that make me me, and what makes it exotic apart from like everybody else up here, is the ability to transform into whoever the category is calling for. I don't know. It's just a gift I have. My family, they know, like, they come from theater arts, acting and singing and dancing, etc. Been around that my whole life. And so coming from that, being able to tap in to whoever I need to be, whoever that affected. I can't tell you who it's going to be until I put it on. Much like the 11K, when I had to be the Lucifer, yeah. I didn't know what that would feel like until, the nails went on, and the branches came up, and then who y'all saw on the runway was a Lucifer. And who I thought, how they would act, how they would move, how they would feel. Same thing with the merman. How would the merman get down the runway? How would he move? Would his movement must be fluid? That's exactly what gay. With the Thai Indian look, learning those movements from watching the videos and tapping into those cultures and those different looks and stuff that I've been blessed to be able to bring forward to ball and out on the floor, which makes it exotic.
I think what makes me, honestly, besides me having all the elements, I do think that, the way that I sell it, it's the way that I sell it, and it comes from other people coming up to me after I win, lose, or draw. They were like, no, one thing we always like about you is the fact that when you sell it, it's like a styling grace. It's like you take your time to let people get in. Even though people see me doing it now and I look back on it live, they be like, oh, Noah doing it, she doing too much. Why she doing all that moving? And people like, that's what Butch Mean Face is known for. Like, she doing it the correct way, So I think me, like I said, if I have all of the elements, I do think that me selling the way that I sell it will always stand out from others.
Look, I think what makes me me is that I'm unapologetically me. I kick it to you straight Bronx. There's always gonna be Bronx on my back. You know what I'm saying? I'm so Benji kind. I'm so like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I think I'm different from everybody else because I don't know, like watching it, I never really felt too much representation for people like me that were just like, because I think in this category, I think what people get it misconstrued as because so you walk with your face, you gotta be like I'm wild, or you gotta be like Jamie polished, or you could be whoever you are. You come off the train, out the cab, from jail, whichever. As long as you get the wrong way and you become this different person, I think that's what's so fire about me. I just never really was like everybody else. I just was me. And I think that's the best thing about it.